My name is Andrew Yagwe and I'm a consultant in the Carbon Trust. I'm here today to talk about the challenges that exist in decarbonising the ICT sector and ICT equipment, and why it's critical that we tackle the integrated circuit components of these devices if we are to see any success in this area. So over the whole life cycle of a smartphone, over a third of its emissions are related to integrated circuit components. And when looking at the production stage of ICT devices, the majority of emissions are related to integrated circuit production. So looking more broadly at the ICT sector, ICT equipment makes up about a third of the total sector's emissions. And so therefore, for the sector to achieve net zero, it's critical that we tackle ICT equipment related emissions and therefore integrated circuit components. So thinking about practical guides, how can product carbon footprints drive emission reductions and lead to new paths in innovation and competitive advantage? We're seeing that hyperscalers and other big customers are increasingly demanding product carbon footprints from their semiconductor suppliers. This presents both a challenge and an opportunity for the suppliers themselves. So what is a product carbon footprint? It is the total greenhouse gas emissions produced by a product across its entire life cycle, measured in carbon dioxide equivalent, or CO2. And what are the boundaries that you might look at in this kind of study or measurement? So there are two main options. The first being cradle to gate, which measures really from raw material extraction through to production of the device itself, or cradle to grave. Cradle to grave measures the entire life cycle of the product, including its end of life and the use phase. First of all, you need to gather data on a per life cycle stage basis. And then it is recommended that you take a industry standard approach to calculation, following, for example, ISO 14067 or another recognized product carbon footprinting standard, and subsequently having the footprint verified by an independent verification body will ensure its robust calculation. In carrying out many of these projects, we've seen there to be many benefits to engaging your value chain in this way, including understanding more deeply your supply chain related emissions, to reducing risk and improving your supply chain resiliency, and reducing costs and improving efficiency overall. So how can product carbon footprints be communicated with your customers and leveraged for impact and a competitive advantage? Procurement teams are becoming increasingly carbon aware and are increasingly incorporating sustainability related performance into their procurement decisions. We've seen major telecommunication network operators, ICT equipment manufacturers, and others incorporate these types of scoring mechanisms into their procurement processes. And therefore, strong performance in this area will enable an increased performance around procurement. Another benefit that we've seen with regards to calculating PCFs in this way include compliance around future regulations that require performance in this area. We've seen the EU Eco-Design for Sustainable Products regulation coming into place alongside the digital products passports that will also require performance in this area. We've also seen product carbon footprints being used to improve efficiency in the supply chain and identify key areas for driving emission reductions in your product design. We've seen this drive many companies to push for greater renewable access with relation to their production processes. We've seen this improve investment into fab technologies that enable some of these emission reductions. We've seen this enable a greater ability to engage with industry bodies, for example, with the Semiconductor Climate Consortium. And lastly, a key benefit is around providing insights to focus on circular design principles. This is a call to action to semiconductor design companies alongside foundries to come together and strengthen your product carbon footprint journey. Developing high quality product carbon footprints supports compliance, customer relations, and future-proofing your business, in addition to being a key enabler in unlocking the sector's climate performance.